And Vicky DeLuca, this goes right to what you were just saying, okay? In Coral Springs and Parkland, in August, there were 450 units closed. In September, that number dropped to 381. That's a decrease of 15%. That's a pretty big decrease month over month, guys, right? For listings taken, 213 in August, 178 in September. Again, that's a decrease of 16%. What's interesting is when you look at the market for Broward County, in other words, you look at a bigger picture, listings taken were actually up by 28% in September over August. So that's interesting. Listings sold. This is an important number. In August, there were 229 listings sold, and in September, 193. That's a decrease of 16%. Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Yes, the market is hot. Yes, there is still a little low inventory. Matter of fact, homes in September closed in an average of 24 days on the market for an average of 99% of the asking price. However, did you know that the number of listings sold in September over August was actually down by 16%? Now, if you knew that trend was going to continue, would you still wait 6 months to put your home on the market? Script, write it down. Contracts written. In the month of August, there were 460 new contracts executed. In the month of September, there was 413. Fewer homes are being sold. Matter of fact, month over month, contracts are down by 10%. This is the kind of information that Vicky would share when she's having those conversations at the door that would create an opportunity where there was no opportunity before the conversation. Remember that people will never change their mind. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait. Please change your mind. Not a good script. Right? Like when your kids ask you, can we go for ice cream? No, please, no, please, no, please. When Lacey used to do that to me, I would finally say yes. And she'd go, really? I'm like, no, I'm not going to change my mean, right? Don't do that to your kids. Now, you guys know the rest of that story. She got really, really good. She came back with those big puppy eyes and say, how about you say yes? It was yes. New decision based on new information. And her dad's a sucker, so that helped. All right, page 23 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. This is our playbook. Wow. We have rock star in the room, everybody. Jason. Your son. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Aaron Coddington, you are a rock star. However, Jason Fox is in rare air. This is a $20 million producer who is gracing us with his presence. Flew in all the way from Rome, Italy to be a part of this class, right? Technically, that's true. Oh, well, you know, there's a lot of traffic in South Florida. You never know how long it's going to take to get here. It's good to have you here, sir. So have your playbook. I was meeting with someone yesterday and I said, if you were to buy a Starbucks franchise, or if you were to buy a Chick-fil-A franchise, very successful franchises, by the way, no matter what your opinion is on Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, no politics allowed in this room. If you bought one of those franchises, what would they hand you? A playbook, a blueprint. And if you bought their franchise, you don't have a choice. You don't get to wing it. You have to follow the playbook. And by the way, you have guaranteed success. Yes or yes? Yes. Yes, I have a good friend who owns 2 Chick-fil-A franchises, and they know within a period of time how, and I forget what it is, don't ask me, they're going to be millionaires. All they have to do is follow the playbook, and it's guaranteed they're going to be millionaires. Well, the same thing is true for you guys. You're part of the greatest real estate company in the world, the only real estate company in the world that wrote a playbook. All you got to do is follow it. Because we're all on a path to be millionaire real estate agents. That means we're all on a path. Aaron Coddington, looking sharp. Did you get a haircut? You're looking good. We're all on a path to gross $1 million, net $1 million, receive $1 million, and then give away $1 million a year. Because we walk like, talk like, look like, and have the checkbook of a millionaire real estate agent. It's an affirmation. Write it down, write it down, write it down. You should start every day with, I walk like, talk like, look like, and have the checkbook of a millionaire real estate agent. What if you did? Would you think differently? You know, it's interesting because I was back in this book this morning and I realized something. Holy cow. Look at this. At the bottom of that triangle, what happens before you gross $1 million? What's the first step? Think $1 million. It's think $1 million. Before you can gross $1 million, you have to think $1 million. 90% of success is mindset. Brilliant. All right, on page 23, Gary Keller says, James Allen once wrote, you will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. By the way, if you don't have a copy of that book, I still have copies in my office. See me after class and I will give you a copy. All right. James Allen once wrote, for all of you on Zoom, if I could somehow magically send this to you, Star Trek, like beam it aboard Scotty, I would send you a copy. Unfortunately, that doesn't work, not yet anyways. I'm sure that day is coming. You actually have to come here to get it. James Allen once wrote, you will become as small as your controlling desire. You know, I wrote on Facebook yesterday, unhappiness is not knowing what you want and then killing yourself to get it. Unhappiness is not knowing what you want and then killing yourself to get it. And in all seriousness, guys, that's the majority of the people walking on this planet. They're just going through life. Like Zig Ziglar would call them wandering generalities. Now, the opposite of a wandering generality is a meaningful specific. Be a meaningful specific. You will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. In the end, your business and your life ultimately reflect the goals you pursue. By the way, if you're not pursuing any goals, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know why you're going there, where are you going to end up? Good question. It all comes down to the difference between goals that just satisfy you and goals that maximize you. Are your goals maximizing you? Are you thinking big? Are you settling for mediocrity when great is still a possibility? You know, Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great, teaches us that good is the enemy of great. The reason there are so few great businesses in our country is because there's so many good ones. The reason so few people live amazing, great lives is because they're living good lives. You know, if you listen to the title of this conversation we have every day, you can call it a podcast, you can call it a class, you can call it the Zoom world, whatever you want to call it. It's survive to thrive. And the whole idea behind survive to thrive is there are 5 levels of success. It starts with survival. Now, at some point in your life, we're all here and just getting by, paying the bills, having just enough money to feed our kids, not living a great life, but we're getting by, we're surviving. We go from survive to stability. Stability means that I'm paying my bills and I have a little bit of money left over at the end of the month. Maybe I go on a vacation once a year. It's not to Italy, but I go on vacation. I'm in stability. And then the next level is success. Success means we're hitting our goals. We're starting to live a better life. We're putting money away. We're saving. We're investing. We're creating passive sources of income. We're living in our dream house. We're driving our dream car. Our kids are going to the college we want them to go to. We're in success. Now, if you keep growing, the next, because some people are completely okay with getting here and staying here. Success, life is good. I don't need to go any further. I've reached the top. For me, that's it. Well, there's more. The next level is significance. Significance is living a life that's more focused on other people's success. Helping other people achieve their goals is a life of significance. Randy, I'll use you as an example, or Jason as an example again. Don't tell Randy I did that. Bringing Alejandro into Keller Williams is being in significance. Being a part of his success journey is being in significance. It's powerful. Good for you. Now, the highest level of success is legacy. Leave the world better than you found it. What is the legacy that you're going to leave? This is going from survive to thrive. Now, some of us, a lot of us, because of choices we make, or because life just happens, find ourselves going from survive to success, back to survive again, and maybe back to success again, and then possibly back to survive again. We can end up here more than once. Now, the greatest success stories in life are the ones that rise from the ashes in order to create amazing lives that leave legacy. That's powerful. Study Abraham Lincoln. That's Abraham Lincoln. His entire life was here in survival until he was elected the 16th president of the United States. He succeeded at one thing in life, one thing, becoming president. 16th president of the United States. And because of that, the world is a different place. Now, back to what Gary's talking about. It all comes down to the difference between goals that just satisfy you and goals that maximize you. Page 24, the greatest thing in this world is not so much where we are, but in what direction we are moving. You know, in The Traveler's Gift, when David Ponder is visiting Christopher Columbus, and he asks, do you know where you are? And Christopher Columbus says, that question matters not. Now, ask me if I know where I'm going. That's a conversation I want to have. Do you know where you are? Yeah, I'm in the middle of adversity. I mean, right now, life just sucks. Let's be honest. Okay. I do not deny, by the way, that's not me. Life is amazing. Now it is, but that, just like you, I've had many times in my life where it sucked. Just being honest, adversity. We're all either in adversity, heading towards adversity, or coming out of adversity. Now, here's what I would say to that. I do not deny the reality of my current condition. I deny its finality. This too shall pass. All right, Michael Topo, talk to me.
Can you repeat what you said about goals? Goals that it was right before you talked about the David Ponder conversation.
The greatest thing in this world is not so much where we are, but in what direction we are moving. Is that it? Before that. Sure. It all comes down to the difference between goals that satisfy you and goals that maximize you. By the way, one of my breakthroughs came in 2015 when I realized that I had lived most of my life between survival and success. That for me, significance and legacy didn't even exist. I was living a life focused on goals that satisfy me. And realized I'm 50, whatever, however old I was in 55. That was 6 years ago, so I was 53. I'm 53 years old. Who knows how much more time I have left on this earth, how much more time God is going to give me. And I don't want this to be my story. In a book that I'm reading right now, one of the things the author suggests or ask is, what is the sentence that would define you? If somebody were to write one sentence that defines you, what would it be? He gave hope to the hopeless, is an example. And I realized at that point, the one sentence that would define me was not what I wanted to be remembered for. And life became about goals that maximized me. By the way, that was focusing on legacy. I'm not done yet, but that's my mission. I am on a mission to leave this world better than I found it. Natalie, I didn't forget about you. So when you're knocking on doors, this really doesn't connect very well. And as a public speaker, I'm doing a horrible job right now, but I want to address your question. When you're knocking on doors, if you have information that you're going to give them, updates on the market, for example, maybe a list of properties that sold in that neighborhood in the last 6 months, maybe an update on the overall market, similar to the information that I shared with you at the beginning of our conversation today. If you have something that you're handing them, that's awesome. Make sure it has your contact information on it, your name, your phone number, your brand, so that they have information in order to be able to connect with you. And so that when they think about real estate, they think about you. Now, if you don't have anything to hand them, that's okay too. It's more about what you walk away with. The purpose of the conversation is to capture information so that that contact becomes a lead. A contact is, I'm having a conversation with you because you opened the front door. A lead is, I've got your name, your address, your phone number, and your email address. Now I have the opportunity to enter you into my database and to follow up with you over time to build a relationship in order to create top of mind so that when you think of real estate, you think of me. In order to create emotional proximity, which means that when you decide to sell your home, you're going to hire the person who's closest to you. So the goal of the conversation is to walk away with their information. It's not so much what you give them, it's what you leave with. All right, give me a couple ahas, guys. Did that answer your question? Cool. Give me a couple ahas and then we're going to jump.
I have one, John.
Talk to me, Keith.
From the last sentence that you said, it reminded me of something Mike Chalongo said, that when he goes on listing appointments, he's going to make a new friend.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That kind of just reminded me of that.
Yeah. Love that. Clients for life. You know, there's a term in real estate where we refer to people we've worked with as past clients. Change that. They're not past. They're clients for life. They're forever clients. Yes, absolutely. Not past clients, forever clients. One of the things I would tell somebody at the closing table when they were thanking me for selling their home and saying goodbye was, no, it's not goodbye. I'm adopting you. I will continue to communicate with you. I will continue to bring value. I want to earn the opportunity to be your realtor for life. Give me a couple more ahas.
Rain would be on the call, but she had to take her daughter to the doctor. But she's been working with somebody on the leasing side, a woman who just moved into the area, and she's shown her properties, calling because the previous realtor ghosted her, just couldn't get her. And we were on the phone with her last night as I was putting a grill together and just talking, just being social. And she says, when I first met you guys and talked to you, I just felt like you're going to be friends for life. I mean, literally, she kind of said exactly what you're saying, because we talked. Hey, and Rain is this way, as I am too. She says, because she's running out on her lease, she says, well, you can come stay with us if you want. We only have an air mattress because we don't have a lot of furniture because we just moved there. But if you really need a place, you can park your butt here instead of paying some guy $3,000 a month for a short-term lease while you find what you're looking for.
Love that story, Larry. Thank you. Yeah. Clarissa.
It's not an but it's more, can you talk to me about the 8x8? So I've captured information and placed in my database. So the first initial conversation, that's week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, neighborhood nurture.
It could be.
Week 3, something else, all the way to week 8.
Yeah, it's 8 communications in 8 weeks. Now, what those are is not as important as you're communicating with them once a week for 8 weeks. On week 8, you're going to have a conversation that includes, if you knew of somebody that was going to buy a home or sell a home, would you possibly refer them to me? Would you consider referring them to me? Words matter. They matter a lot. If I ask you, if you know of somebody that's going to buy or sell a home, would you refer them to me? I might get no. I might get, I don't know, John. I have other real estate agents that I'm friends with. And what do I want to hear? I want to hear yes. So the question is, Clarissa, if you knew of somebody who's going to buy a home or sell a home, would you possibly refer them to me? Would you consider referring them to me? It's all I'm looking for. I already know somebody who's a real estate agent. Awesome. And I want to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. Now, all that means is I'm going to send you interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I'm going to call every 3 or 4 months just to stay in touch. Would that be okay? Script, write it down. It's simple. Now there's 8x8s that live in command. So you can plug and play and just launch the 8x8 that's already there, or you can customize it. One of the things that I would do is I believe in the power of personal notes. Make sure there's at least one personal note, handwritten personal note for all of you that are younger than 30. That means you have a card, you're actually writing on it. You're putting it in an envelope. You're addressing the envelope and you're putting a stamp. They sell these things at the post office. And you put it on the outside of the envelope and you put it in this little blue box, and then it shows up at the people's home. And it's called a personal note. It's not a text message. It's not Instagram or face chat or any of that. It's a handwritten personal note. They're powerful. And one of the funniest questions that I hear, and I hear it all the time, is, what do you say, John? Really? Seriously? Come on. All right. Michael, thank you for taking time out of your day to chat with me. I appreciated, I enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to hopefully working with you in the future. Make it a great day, John.
Repeat that again.
Clarissa, thank you for taking time out of your day to chat with me. I enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to hopefully working with you in the future. Make it a great day. Write with a Sharpie. Don't use a pen, especially for those of you who tiny write. Write with a Sharpie so that it's really big and it takes up the entire personal note, because otherwise you're going to feel like you need to write them a book. You don't need to. Write it super big, use a Sharpie, blah works. You don't need blah, blah, blah. All right, time to get to work. It's past time to get to work. It's 9:37. So what is work? You know, I imagine after a year and a half, there are some of you on this call who are tired of how we end the call. Let's see, there's 20. Here's a challenge. Let's see if anybody jumps while we're doing this. I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm not going to stop doing this until every single one of you can stand in front of the room and recite this word for word, because this is the secret sauce. I promise you, if you just do this, you're going to build a successful business. Hi, Yagada. It's great to see you. Love your background.
Hi, John. How you doing?
You look awesome. So what is work? Work is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17 conversations, because if I have 17 conversations, I didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get because I didn't have the conversation. And the saddest part about that is you don't even know that you lost the opportunity because you simply just didn't have the conversation. Make care calls, not sale calls. Have care conversations, not sales conversations. Always lead with gratitude. Bring value to every single conversation. Follow a Ford model of communication: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Focus on either getting an appointment, getting a referral, adding somebody new to your database, or building a relationship. Find somebody today that is thinking of selling their home, whether it's next week, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter, because you're looking for opportunity, period, not just opportunity right now. Meet with somebody today that is thinking of selling their home. Meet with somebody every day who is thinking of selling their home. You will meet with 250 people in the next 12 months. If you work 50 weeks, 5 days a week, it's 250. They have 250 people in your pipeline. And because you follow up forever and you reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. And when you follow up forever, you're creating emotional proximity, which simply means when somebody gets serious about selling their home, they're going to hire the person who's closest to them. So, Jeffrey, coming to you. When somebody makes a new decision based on new information, because you've created emotional proximity, that new decision is going to be to Jonathan. Sorry, you're Jeffrey today. Seriously. I knew I was getting a funny look back, like, who's Jeffrey? Yeah, I know. I have 340 kids, guys. Don't expect me to remember all their names all the time. All right, I love you guys. Today is Wednesday. It's team meeting day in Coral Springs. That means 11:15. Be here for our team meeting. It's going to be amazing. We have 5 agents capping today. Holy cow, that's amazing, right? And we're going to jump here and go straight to scripts.
A reminder.
Yes.